Yo, we've done this before, but I want to do this again. It's time for Inazuma 11 Unpopular Opinions. We're back on the Reddit. This is a brand new thread from 4 months ago, where we're going to be basically looking at people's unpopular Inazuma 11 opinions and giving my personal opinion on them. So, let's just start right into it. We have opinions, opinions don't equal personal... Wait, opinions don't equal personal taste, don't equal facts. I'm already confused. Moving on. Antagonist teams are better than the protagonist teams. Seriously, I don't know if there's something wrong with me, but I preferred the opposition like 90% of the time. I agree with this generally. I don't agree with this for Season 1. I really like Raimon in Season 1. I think they're the perfect underdog. Season 2, and also the Season 1 teams in general, are a bit boring. Season 2... I think it varies team to team. Season 3, kind of the same thing, varies team to team. Go 1, probably. I'm not a big fan of Go Raimon, and there's a lot of other teams in Go I love. Again, I mean, this is a case where it varies. I like from team to team. I don't think you can just straight up say antagonist teams are better than protagonist ones. Except in the case of Inakuni Raimon. Yeah, every team is better than Inakuni Raimon. I fully... Especially because of what Ares did, which was basically build up the antagonist teams. They would build them up and then in a match have them lose in the worst way possible just to piss people off for some reason. And in that case, then yeah, I agree with this completely. Every team in bloody Ares was better than Inakuni Raimon and deserved to win. It hurt my head. It genuinely did. And my heart a lot. Alright, let's see what we've got. Don't like the strategies, and specifically the tacticians in Ares Orion. Zhao Jinin and Osaka could make a team of pigs win the FF, and for me that's lame. In OG and Go, no playmaker coach carried their teams that much. Not even Daisuke. I accidentally followed and unfollowed this post. Nice. Reddit. I kind of agree. I mean, obviously I haven't seen Orion in its entirety yet. I have seen Ares. And I do think the strategies can be a bit stupid. In Inazuma 11 in general, I think strategies can sometimes get a bit overly ridiculous. I love how the original does strategies, which is very much like, well, you know, like, it's mostly to do with the training, especially with Coach Travis. It's mostly just to do with the training and how he makes them train. And I always think that's really cool because you can see how that's training specifically to counter their special tactic. In Inazuma 11 2, I mean, what does Lena really do in terms of strategy? I don't know. I mean, there's the Secret Service match that always comes to mind where, like, she takes some people off. I mean, yeah, you take off the people who are struggling. In terms of the strategies, and I think sometimes be really stupid. I still think, like, Ares' Royal Academy one off the top of my head, like the one Royal Academy uses a weird strategy. So, I mean, I kind of both agree with this, and at the same time, I mean... and if you're talking specifically Ares Orion, I can't really comment. I don't remember a lot of the Ares strategies, but yeah, sure. I kind of give him that. I says some stuff was blurred. No, Norika new haircut. Norika, I'm not gonna lie, she looks cute and adorable. When I watched the episode when she came on, I didn't like it. It did not suit her. It left me uneasy. This is just basically saying, the haircut Norika has in Orion is bad. Well, what does her hair even look like in? Oh, it's like the short hair in it. It's cool, I guess. The attitude of the final team of every season other than Season 3 of OG is way too overdone. So is the formula of players with enhanced skills, better skills, who end up preaching about how superior they are compared to Raimon, how they'll beat them to a pulp, to end up doing what Raimon ends up winning, which is predictable, but the fact that almost every final team acts the same way is boring. Okay, yeah, I agree. That's kind of how sport things work, though, annoyingly. A lot of sport things, specifically when you're involving life or death stakes, massive supervillain teams, kind of always end up working the same way. And that you've obviously got to ramp. The final match has to be the highest stakes possible, life or death with against the strongest team possible, but then you still have to win. And so what always is going to end up happening is this structure of this team being, I'm so cool, I'm the best. We're the best. We're so evil and epic. And then Raimon are just going to always just win by one goal, defeat them, and so the whole world doesn't get exploded or whatever, literally in Galaxy. And so I agree that Inazuma Japan, Little Dragon is the best because it's just a tournament, and that's why I think Inazuma 11 needed more just tournaments. Tournaments without life or death stakes, just tournaments. I think, Zeus is maybe bordering too high on life or death stakes. Little Gigant, that's what I do like. Little Gigant and Inazuma Japan are kind of equally matched. We needed more final battles that were equally matched. Technically more matches in Inazuma 11, to be fair, always, which are two teams who are equally matched. But yeah, Neo Japan's actually a really cool team, and I wouldn't mind if they won against Inazuma Japan. That would have been really interesting, to be fair. I'd kind of like to see someone tackle that concept of what if Neo Japan won against Inazuma Japan. Maybe I should. I actually kind of want to do that. I will totally do that. Galaxy is best in Inazuma series. Agreed. I love Galaxy. Inazuma 11 2 is my favorite game, though. Manabe is best in Inazuma character. Which one's Manabe? Is that the glasses guy? I don't know what to say to you, fella. Tema is better than Endu and Azuto. I don't agree with that, but I agree that Tema's better than Azuto, but I prefer Endu to Tema. Aries Orange should have been a proper mid-intercal instead of their own timeline. No, I think the Alternate Universe story is really cool and gives it its own edge. Soul's Cashions makes them actually the match much more exciting. I disagree. If you're talking strictly in an anime sense, I kind of agree. If you're talking in a gameplay sense, not at all. It makes the match so much boring. I so much more prefer just standard Inazuma 11 gameplay to all this complicated Souls nonsense. But no, in terms of the anime, I can kind of agree. Axel Fleet's the best final team. I guess who is my favorite final team? Probably Dark Emperors, to be fair. I think Dark Emperors is I'd say Dark Emperors is my favorite. Axel Fleet, pretty good, though. I like the Crazy Adventures of Go. I can kind of agree with that, to be fair. I like the charm of Chrono Stone and Galaxy, and how just absolutely mad they are with their concepts. Space and time travel are things you would never expect from a football anime, but you know what? I'll happily take it. I quite like it. Go is the best arc of Inazuma. I prefer the original 3 as a trilogy over Go as a trilogy, but I can see why you get that opinion. Cole is cooler than every Football Frontier team except for Royal and Zeus. Yes. I kind of like Farm, but yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. Two opinions of mine always seem popular that Shinsuke is bad and Temura is too... Are these unpopular opinions? I feel like these are the most basic opinions I've seen. Like, Shinsuke is bad. I made a video where I basically surveyed 150 Inazuma 11 fans to find out what the most popular opinions were. And Shinsuke was the #1 most hated player. So, yeah, I mean, that's absolutely a popular opinion. The one that's still unpopular, I don't think I've said often, is that the antagonist final team shouldn't block the game-winning shot. It's going to score anyway, so there's no point in adding it. What? I can't wrap my head around that. For some reason, I cannot wrap my head around that at all. Inazuma 11 probably more popular for serialized in Shonen Jump. Yeah, probably. Shonen Jump is a lot bigger, from my understanding. And I think it would work as a Shonen Jump series, to be honest. So yeah, absolutely. Good Forever is the best dub intro. Absolutely agreed. Shouldn't change the character's name when translating the game into English. Slightly disagreed. I think the dub names make it a lot easier for English-speaking audiences to both relate to and remember the characters. As kind of weird and bad as that is, I think that is just a thing. I think that generally speaking, some random Steve will be more likely to remember the name of Steve than he is of Handa, if that makes sense. I think a lot of the Japanese names, people who don't speak Japanese, can sometimes be a bit similar. Kazamaru, Kabayama, there's a lot of names that sound like that. Kageyama, you know what I mean? There's a lot of names that sound very, very similar, and to someone who does not speak Japanese, I can see why that'd be really, really confusing. So I think the dub names are a really good call. The dub, special move names, less so, but I also think they have their own charm to them. So it's more popular in the UK if the English dub for the anime wasn't bad. Yeah, probably. I think those are also other reasons why it did badly in the UK specifically. Namely, I think it got kind of screwed over from my understanding. It got screwed over when it was being aired. It was being aired at ridiculous times in the morning. And so, yeah, absolutely. I think I always watched it on, record. I never watched it live. Because I think they tried to make that as less of an option as humanly possible. There are very few characters that are actually badly designed. What do you define as badly designed? I think in terms of scouts, I think there are absolutely horrible designs. There are some designs in Inazuma 11 that are just straight up, just straight up really, really ugly. I think the main character designs are generally really solid, and there are some fantastic designs. But in terms of scouts, I feel like a large percentage of them just aren't nice to look at. I think Garfield did a pretty good job of being a villain, sure, but I think he's also probably the most forgettable villain. Or, well, what probably the most forgettable out of, like, I'd say the main 6. Aries, Nori, and I will always kind of see its own spin-off thing. But I think Garshill's probably the most forgettable of the main 6. I like Konar. That's, Trina, innit? Yeah, fair enough. Aries is overhated. There's no backup to that. Can we have some explanations? I don't think there are any explanations. But, I mean, I disagree. It's hard to say anything when there's no, like, backup given to it. Hey, Axel Blaze, Tsurugi is infinite times better. I think Victor is more attempt at fleshing him out, but Axel Blaze is a weird character for me. I kind of change between liking him and disliking him every, like, 5 minutes. I think Victor probably is a bit more, like, had a bit more depth to him, and I kind of like his theme a lot better, so sure, Victor. There are things I like about Axel more, though. Love Shindu's music on piano in all matches. Yeah, I agree with that. I love Kineko as a character. I don't like their shoots. Should have just been a defender. They are just a defender. But I get what you mean. Their long shots can sometimes seem a bit weird and out of nowhere. But I think in terms of the actual moves themselves, I really like both of them. Zanog shouldn't be on... He was on the Battle 11. Yeah, this person gets it. Faye was downgraded to play with Temari. He's so strong with his like power. See, this is the thing I agree with. I think Faye was such a cool character, but his special moves are so weak. And they're weirdly weak. Like, his special moves are really, really weirdly weak for no reason. I don't understand that at all. Bouncing Bunny and whatever, the other one, Perfect Rabbit or whatever it's called, they're just weirdly weak. I don't understand it. Season 1 of IE is kind of boring. Alias Arc is carried by sci-fi themes. Galaxy Arc that is so good we're going to say it's bad because it's not what we wanted. I agree with the Galaxy thing. Season 1 of IE is, yeah, in terms of kind of boring, I think it's quick enough and short enough to where it circumvents that. I think in contrast to the rest of the series, then yeah, kind of. But in terms of, I think it's paced so much better than the rest of Inazuma 11, to be honest. Go is far too long. Every season of Go is miles too long. Alias Arc is carried by sci-fi theme. What do you mean, carried by sci-fi theme? I think Alias Arc is carried by being the Alias Arc. It's just a good arc. I don't get it. Last match and then Season 1 was bullshit. Completely agreed. Let's make this the final one, by the way. Let's go over these ones finally. So last match in Season 1 was bullshit. Completely agree. I don't like the Zeus match at all. I think the Twin Boost F stuff is dumb, and the fact that that move is just used 5 times is, like, really stupid. I think it's... Is it 4 times? 3 times? 3 times, I think. It's stupid. It's really dull. Thor doesn't belong to Inazuma Japan. I think Thor obviously makes more sense in the anime than he does in the game being on Inazuma Japan. But I kind of like him. He's a cool character with a cool design and cool moves. I wish he had more original moves. Super Sumo Stomp is hardly an original move to him. I'd quite like to see more original moves actually given to him. Shinsuke doesn't deserve any hate. I mean, I disagree with that. I don't like him at all, but it depends. I mean, if you like the character, then you like the character, you know what I mean? Nakata is a shitty character. It's hard to comment on this one with no, like, explanation given. But Nakata, for me, I quite like him, to be fair. I think it's cool having this really cool character, like this really cool, powerful player. I just wish he was shown to be more powerful in the actual match. I wish Brave Shot was a cooler move. And I wish he got a bit more screen time. Genesis is definitely stronger than Chaos. Yeah, I think that's kind of absolutely shown, in it. Inazuma Japan should have won against the Empire and lost another game? No. No, not at all. Because the whole point of the Inazuma Japan match against the Empire is showing how important Mark and all that is to that team. And it's literally perfectly orchestrated for Inazuma Japan to lose that match. Yeah, no, they shouldn't have won against the Empire. Wonderbar's funny? Agreed. It's a talking teddy bear. Scott Banyan too. I don't think Scott Banyan's funny. I think Scott Banyan's is tragic. And I love his backstory. The Crimson System at the i3 games was by far the worst. Completely agreed. Konoha is an awesome character. Agreed. Azuto is definitely not. Agreed. I think Azuto is just a bit of a whiny man. Bit of a whiny bastard, and I'm not a big fan of his backstory, and I'm not a big fan of especially how his backstory is executed. Namely in the first episode of Aries, where he goes from crying about his mother to crying about football in like 5 seconds and forgets about his mother. Fair play. Alright, we're going to end things off there, everyone, and if you want to leave your Inazuma 11 unpopular opinions down below, make sure you do, and I will read them, and if I particularly disagree with you, I may respond and tell you that you're stupid. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.